Hi, Stamper fans. Welcome and thanks for joining me, whether you're watching on Facebook or if you're catching the replay on YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Nan, and I help people slow down, get creative, and stay connected, whether that's crafting together or you making a handmade card that means something. So grab your favorite beverage and let me show you a little bit about our products tonight. Okay. So first, let me see here. There we go. Sorry, this is the new format for me, the why this works. And so basically what I'm going to be doing is focusing on a different product or suite or bundle or something like that each month. So each month we have one of these. I'll focus on something different. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the Lovely Blossoms suite of products. So have you ever sat down to create and just kind of like, I don't even know where to start, right? You blank out or it's all very overwhelming. And that's what our product suites are great at helping with, because everything coordinates. So the Lovely Blossoms suite has a stamp and die bundle. It has designer paper. It has an embossing folder, embellishments, and ribbon that all coordinate. It's an incredible value, and it's really, really fun to create with. So my favorite thing about Stampin' Up! Is coordination. And so the first coordination that they do so well is product coordination. So one of the things I love is like in our Lovely Arrangements stamp set, when they have stamp sets, they pretty much all go together. So you know that even though the fonts are different, they're going to look nice together. So if you say stamp the thank you, and then you want to add the so very much, they're going to look great together. All sorts of things like that. You can do a happy birthday and sending smiles. They're going to look great together. Plus the fact that the imagery also goes well with the fonts that they've selected. So they do a great job of putting things together and making your crafting sessions very not overwhelming, right? Very easy. You don't have to overthink anything. You just grab and go. So love that, first of all. And then we have the dies on the top of that that coordinate perfectly with the stamps. So this particular set of dies has 3 dies that will actually cut out the 2 flowers and the leaf images. There's also 2 label shaped dies that work perfectly with all of the sentiments. And then you have a couple of extra little leaves that just cut out themselves and cut out the leaves themselves and have some veining in them, so some details, so you can add leaves that are not stamped. And then there are 2 additional pieces that don't cut out anything in the stamp set, but add some interest for sure. That little guy got out of hand. In case you've never purchased our dies before, they do not come on magnet sheets. This is something that I do once I get mine because they just stay in place so nice and so much easier to work with for me. So, but you do not need to do that. They come in your packaging and you can just keep them in there. Sure you can. There we go. My magnet sheet is coming off of my cardboard. That was the problem. So that's what we have first is our Lovely Arrangements bundle. That's kind of the base of the whole suite. So everything's going to kind of go off of this. Color coordination is another thing that I think Stampin' Up! Does better than anybody. If you see the color Old Olive in a stamp pad, you know it's going to go well with the Old Olive cardstock. It's going to go well with Old Olive ribbon. It's going to go well with Old Olive blends, markers, pretty much anything that says Old Olive, it's going to go together. And I absolutely love that, because how many times, if you're a crafter, have you, maybe you're working with red and you go to the craft store and you're like, oh, that red's too orangey red. This red's too bluey red. This one's too dark. This one's too bright. It's very hard to get, especially like reds and yellows, maybe things that are like that. It's very hard to get something that works well together. And Stampin' Up's taken all that guesswork out of that for you. So let's take a look at the designer series paper from this suite, the Lovely Blossoms designer series paper. Speaking of color coordination, I do want to point out, in case you didn't know, all of our packs of designer paper come with this kind of backing cardboard, and it'll tell you on there exactly what colors are in the designer papers. So this one happens to have Crumb Cake, Cloud Cover, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and Secret Sea. So you know right off the bat, that information's online as well. You know right off the bat what colors you could grab of stamp pads or cardstocks or anything to go ahead and get creating right away with this. And it's going to look great. So let me show you the different patterns we have in the designer papers. First, we have a crumb cake floral, very pretty all over pattern that would look great as a background for scrapbook paper, scrapbooking, or decor item, or a card background, anything like that. The flip side is a beautiful geometric pattern with the Secret Sea. Great neutral. If you've been around here a minute, you know I love Secret Sea. So next one, a gorgeous floral pattern. And does that flower look familiar? And those leaves? Yes, they do. So yes, gorgeous with Secret Sea leaves. Like I always think to stamp leaves in green, and I forget that they come in different colors even in nature. And even if they don't, you know what? If you want a bright red leaf, you have a bright red leaf. That's the beauty of crafting. And then on the flip side, we have just a gorgeous, looks like kind of a linen in the Old Olive. Again, great background piece for sure. And then we have another gorgeous floral with that cloud cover in the background. I love that. And the Old Olive. And the blossoms are actually done in Secret Sea, but they're left white. So love that about this set as well, because I've done a lot of cards without having to color in the flowers, and they look fabulous. And then the opposite side of this is a geometric little dotted pattern in the petal pink. And then here is the real workhorse of this designer series paper set. I absolutely love it. I did put this on my Cricut mat because I had cut it all up already. So in order to make this go easier, I stuck the pieces back the way they were. Okay, so you get 3 of each of these sheets that I'm showing you in this pack. And this particular sheet, so you'll have 3 of these, are meant to be cut apart to be used as card fronts, decor pieces, scrapbooking, memory keeping, giftables, all sorts of things, right? So you have 3 that are actually 4 by 6. So you would just slice on this line, and then you cut up the middle of each of those. And then you have 4 that are 3 by 4. And I believe I showed you in the first video this month a great card using the 3 by 4 panels. So super sweet to do that. And then this bottom strip is all 2 by 2 inches. I have not cut these apart yet, but they'd be great little accents, or you could, form them in a square or rows, all sorts of ways you could use these. You can even use them to die cut things out of. And then the other side of that piece is this gorgeous stripe in the cloud cover, which reminds me of mattress ticking. And I think I said this last time. It's kind of funny because I don't think mattresses look like this anymore, but that's how they looked when I was younger. So, yeah, but I do love this. It also kind of looks like really New England-y wallpaper, maybe. Like I want some wainscoting with this. Okay, so for the DSP, I wanted to show you, like here is one of the cards I made out of one of those bigger panels. So it was originally 4 by 6. I cut it down to 4 by 5.5, so it would fit on a standard card. And then I literally just put it on a piece of the thick white cardstock. I added a stamped and die cut little sentiment and these little embellishments that I'll show you in a minute, and boom, that card was done, but it's gorgeous. And it would be perfect to send to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and you just want to check in with, maybe somebody that's going through kind of a tough time. Maybe they lost a pet, maybe they are, battling an illness, or they're just having some difficulty at work. It'd be great to just check in with a little sending smiles, right? Okay, so that is all of the designer paper. Next, I did mention, I think, our Lovely Stripes embossing folder. This is a really, really fun one. And let me show you exactly what it looks like on a card. So here on this Highland Heather strip, you can see that it actually mimics this designer paper that we had, right? So you get a textured bit that kind of looks like this. Now, I want to tell you one thing with this particular embossing folder. Because these grooves are so deep and so like precise and edgy, right? Stamper Man Russ ran the designer paper through it, and it basically just ripped on all those lines. So I don't think it's going to be good for designer paper, unless, of course, you want that ripped look. It's perfect then. Which totally is a thing that, you know, we do a lot. So I'll probably be using these pieces on a little something. But I also had that same problem with the cardstock the first time I tried it. So what I'm going to tell you is if you use this particular embossing folder, I would run it through quickly, because the first time I did it, I ran it through slowly and methodically, and then it kind of ripped a bit on the cardstock. But the second time I tried it, I just whipped it through real quick and I had no problems. So it's basically the longer it's staying under that pressure, the more it's going to break down the fibers. So just a note, so that you have good results with yours as well. The next item in this suite is the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. These are like the icing on the cake, you guys. I absolutely love these. You get a piece of white here so you can see them a little better. One of the things I love about it is look at how like thin they are. So they're going to be very easy to mail. If you're mailing a card, these are not going to add a lot of depth. They're not going to need hand canceling or any of that kind of stuff, right? You can just send them through the mail. And no matter if you're working on cardstock that's darker or lighter, there's dots from dark to light, so they're going to look good on any background, which is absolutely fabulous. And of course, they coordinate with the colors in the designer paper, but of course, you can use them with other things as well, so don't feel like you're locked into just this suite. Use the products outside as well. I think I have. Yes, okay. And the last thing in this suite is a gorgeous textured ribbon. It is cloud cover textured ribbon, and it is a 5/8 inch width. So you can see that it is a lot wider than most of our normal ribbons. And it's just like this icy blue. It's so pretty. It's got a bit of a shimmer to it. Really flexible, very easy to work with. Absolutely love that. It is the perfect little finishing touch for a card, a decor piece. You can use it in your kid's hair. You know, if you've got, if you're doing some fancy stuff, right? You got a wedding to go to, would be great for wedding favors, finishing touches as well. And I've got a card to show you with this. So instead of tying a bow or anything that would be too bulky, I've simply used it as another layer behind my accent piece here. And this adds some texture. It's lighter than the cardstock. It adds some dimension because it's a different thickness, different width, all sorts of differentness, right? And here's some of those glossy dots. So this is a great example of a more masculine feel card because it doesn't have all the frou-frou flowers. It doesn't have all the pinks, all the whatevers. I did do the petal pink here in the leaves, but that is not a like super feminine pink. So perfect, even worked in the ribbon, and it still does not feel too feminine to me at all. So that, let me grab all these samples that I showed you. So that's just a sample of what we've got going on with this gorgeous suite of products. I absolutely love them. I've been playing with them all month and will continue for the rest of the month. And this suite is also featured in this month's class, which is this Friday, the 23rd. where we're going to turn it into 4 finished cards, this middle one being one of them. So if you're interested in that, I will put all the links and details in tomorrow's email, Tuesday's email, so you can get all of that. So thanks so much for spending a bit of your day with me, and I will see you again soon. Happy stamping.